your presence?
You know what? In a sense, I think.
I'm Rich.
And I'm Josh.
Make sure your Walkman is at full battery because we're diving into our dad tapes.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for listening to tape 35 of the Dad Tapes. Let's get rolling.
So, what are we drinking tonight, bro?
Tonight, we have our hands on a lovely another Glasstown Brewery.
Our second one. We haven't had one since tape 2, 3? It's been a while.
I think it was three or four, something like that. This one's the 856, the Double India Pale Ale, brewed in Millville, New Jersey. It's a double IPA, 8.5 ABV. Let's get cracking.
God damn, that's fucking strong.
Yup. They pack a punch, bro. It's definitely a double. You taste the double.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You taste that double IPA. It's not bad. I really like it.
It's good. I'm glad it's cold because if it was like just a tad
Even
bit
a
warmer,
little bit
I
warmer,
probably would.
Yeah, you might have to sling that thing back, bro.
Yeah. I don't think it's one I'll drink all the time.
Nah. Okay, so would you get it again?
I would. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Only if I have it and it's ice cold. So how's your week been, bro?
Bro, it's I don't know, man. It's overall it's been a slow week. Honestly, it's been a crazy week. You know, it's fall break for Dex, so he's been home all week. Great time.
Good old teachers convention.
Yeah. It's been awesome, you know. Every day. All day. Every day.
Wait till summertime.
Yeah. It might be a nice little reprieve at that point because I could keep him out all day. You know, by that point in time, he'll be able to go outside by himself, hopefully.
Yeah, right.
I'm also a little salty, I ain't gonna lie.
About what?
Fantasy football. And I for the past since week 3, man, I was 17-1, right? I took 2 L's last week.
Oh shit!
I lost to Joe.
Damn.
And I lost in another league. I mean, I'm still 18-3. That's still a dang good record. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little salty, man. I was on a 6-win streak in our podcast battles, bro. But thanks to a little bit of underperforming from like Jamar Chase and a couple other big stars I had on my team, I took that L. But hey, every dog has his day, Joe. Every dog has his day. There was multiple points throughout this week I was annoyed. And not with my son or my daughter. As they, now my daughter has pink eye. And we're dealing with that. So Dex has this friend in the development. And he comes over, bro. And he knocks on the door. He knocks on the door maybe every day.
Yeah.
And mind you, this kid's in 3rd grade. And his little brother is in 1st grade. So he rides the same bus as Declan.
Yeah.
And, dude, no exaggeration. On Saturday, he and his brother came up to our front door between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12:15. 9 different times, bro. On Saturday, from 11 a.m. to about 4. 13 times, dude.
Just knocking on the door?
22 times in a matter of 2 days to see if Declan can come out and play. 22 times, man. How do you approach that? Because these kids, the impression you're left with is their parents just tell them to go because it seems like they just don't want them to be bothering them at home. So they just tell the kids to go out, which is great. I'm so glad these kids get so much time to play. But how are you supposed to correct a kid and guide a kid who's not your kid, who knocks on your door 22 times?
Yeah.
So how do you handle that? What would you do?
Oof. That'd be kind of tough, man.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna yell at the kid.
No, but and at the same time, you don't want to let him down either, Yeah. So I mean, oof, I'm glad I didn't have to go through that, man.
Yeah, well,
seems like you had a pretty shitty week.
I'm glad this beer's heavy. Anyway, bro, how about you, man? How's your week been? What's something that made you think like my life sucks?
Honestly, I don't want to say I had one.
Okay, well that's a good week then.
I mean, it was a decent week. It was very mundane.
Okay,
it's been a while since I kind of had one of them, but
so it was a nice little reprieve, nice little break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy happened, but at the same time, nothing.
Well, you had Addie this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go? And she met the new girlfriend, right?
She did, yeah. That was honestly the highlight.
There you go.
Week, now that I think about it, couldn't get her away from her, bro.
That's a good thing. That's a good sign.
She kind of like Addie clung to her like really, really well. Good. So it's very nice to see, and it kind of made me feel really good.
I think it's important for
exactly.
Yeah.
It just kind of shows me, or I know it's like early, but it shows me that like they're gonna have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Or more or less friendship, I should say.
I mean, a friendship is a relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a good start.
Yeah. It was just very, very refreshing because it was like a lot of that stress kind of just like lifted off my shoulders, which was fucking great.
I'm sorry, man. Like I give you so much props for having the strength to be able to. I like I said before, man. I don't know when it would ever be the right time, and I have so much respect for the fact that you do that. I don't know. Like it's so. I get stressed out thinking about it, and I'm married, man. So I get stressed out for you. So yeah, I can't imagine the anxiety, the stress, the fear, all of that.
Honestly, in my opinion, like I don't think there really is a right time for something like that.
Yeah, it's not the person to ask.
It's more or less like because of, all right, for instance, like because of how me and my girlfriend are together, like our relationship and our friendship and just how we are with each other.
Yeah.
It shows me how I know she's going to be with her. She's a very caring person, very gentle, and it was just kind of one of them things where it was just like, yeah, I'm ready, and I'm happy with the way that it happened because my body and my mind, with me making that decision, the reprieve that I had after the fact of them meeting, it felt really good,
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad it was successful. I'm glad it was enjoyable. I'm glad for your sake you can rest easy now knowing Addie doesn't despise this woman.
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine?
No, dude.
Don't even put yourself into that situation. That's good. I'm glad I'm happy for you, bro.
Thank you.
Wish my fucking week was that way.
You know what time it is?
That I don't know. I don't know. I do know it's time to fix or tighten this chair because it squeaks, and it bothers me every week, and I haven't done anything about it.
Not my chair, not my problem. That's what I say.
But no, I don't know.
I mean, I'm aware that you need to fix that chair because I can hear it from over here.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably the chair that you had that wobbled. Yeah. I don't want to hear about that.
It's the floor, bro. It's not the chair. It's the floor.
Blame the floor. The floor can't move, bro. The floor can't move. How did it not wobble one week and it wobbles the next? Oh, it's the floor. Okay. The concrete floor.
Skill issue.
So this week, for our Being Aware Dads and our reading from The Daily Dad by Ryan Holiday, we are reading January 15th. If you want your kids to respect you, you will earn the respect of all men if you begin by earning the respect of yourself. Musonius Rufus.
I like that.
Right?
I like that a lot.
Every parent wants to be listened to. We want our advice to be taken seriously. We want to be looked up to. Most of all, we want to be respected. Well, if you want your kids to respect you, be worthy of that respect. Just think about it for a second here. Why would they respect advice that you don't live by? Why would they admire you when you're not living up to your own potential? That's harsh. That's a harsh statement right there. Why would they look up to you when you yourself are dealing poorly with self-esteem issues, when you have accepted the lies of imposter syndrome and allowed them to affect how you act as a parent? Get your stuff straight.
Dude.
Be the parent you can be. Be the person you know you can be. The rest will follow, and if it doesn't, then at least you'll be strong enough to deal with whatever comes. Yo, this week's reading was in your face, man. Yeah. It's like it's been so gentle and docile recently, and this is like, yo, fucking step up, bro.
This week it's like, yo, what the fuck you doing?
I know, man. It is in your face aggressive.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Oh God, man. But hey, I think that's the truth. But it's also that reading seems very commanding, but you don't demand respect. You command respect. You know?
Yeah, but and the one thing you really got to think about too is, you can't have the respect for other people if you don't have the respect for yourself.
Yeah, that's the truth.
It's a major thing to have respect.
You wouldn't
for
even know what to look for.
No.
If you're trying to get respect from other people, you need to know what respect looks like for yourself and respect for other people, for that matter, as well, before you can ever get the respect of anybody else, because you don't even know what to look for.
Yep. So, before we get started here, I kind of want to do a little like a appreciation shout out to us.
Okay.
We've been putting in the work with this, and especially Rich too. He's been doing a lot of work, but we're looking up here in the future. We've got we had some emails with a couple local breweries.
Yeah,
here in town, we have. And we're hoping to get ready to hopefully have an episode here in the future where we're going to be broadcasting live. No, not live, but,
live from the Xfinity Center in Philadelphia.
But
that's the dream right there.
Yeah, right. But now we're going to be looking at recording at some breweries here soon.
Yeah.
And doing a couple shows and trying out their brews in house. It's gonna be a cool experience.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the shows lighthearted. You never know, but we're gonna try to. I don't know, man. I thought about that. We can't have deep, passionate conversations about being fathers, and then the table over is like a first date.
Yeah, right.
It's like, here I am, almost about to cry, and it's like you're like, oh, it's okay, bro, and it's like we got a 23 and a 24-year-old sitting next to us, and they're like,
the fuck is wrong with these dudes?
Exactly. But yeah, kind of making light of that. We definitely have some things lined up, and we got a couple guests lined up that we want to get onto the show. I appreciate you guys for sticking it through with us. It's 35 weeks, man.
Yeah.
35 weeks.
It's a little over half a year.
It is a little over half a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't think we'd make it this far, quite honestly. Quite honestly, I didn't.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that one, bro. Yeah.
Man.
That's a good beer. I know you're getting a little...
It's good, but that's fucking strong.
Mm-hmm. I can see it over there.
Mm-hmm. There are certain people in this world who have lasting legacies throughout a spectrum of life. Kobe Bryant. Babe Ruth. Joe Montana. Those people are unique and truly special. However, we need to remember that we are our own legends in the making. Tonight, join us as we delve into the topic of legacies and the legacy we are creating without consciously thinking about it.
It's time for our data dump. To define legacy, we have to go to the second definition in the dictionary: the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. That now presents the question: how important is your legacy to your children? We can all sit back and reflect on a legacy your father has left for you, and possibly the legacy his father has left behind as well. But according to fathers.com, it should be a priority to be intentional about your legacy, as the legacy you create for yourself as a father will live on through the generations. Additionally, as well from fathers.com, not only should your legacy be intentional in your daily doings, but your legacy is also a quasi-reflection of your choices as a father. They make up who you are. Make choices your children would be proud of. Although it's integral to your legacy to be intentional, you don't want the idea of your own legacy to consume you and allow yourself to become distracted by that creation of your own legacy.
Wow.
It's kind of like a fine line you got to walk there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
kind of got to like dot your I's across your T's with it, you know?
Yeah, but you can't be absolute. It can't be absolution, because if that's the case, you're going to be allowing yourself to be consumed by that.
You're going to be almost too perfect.
You're going to be too. It's gonna be overbearing. That's stressful. But you have to also keep yourself aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
The impact of a father's influence can be seen in the way your children view themselves, the world, and the future, and how they use their knowledge and experience to make a positive difference in society. Your legacy will live on. So I want to first ask you, I know we just defined what legacy is, but what does a legacy mean to you? You as an individual, with everything that encompasses Joshua Patterson, what is a legacy to you?
Honestly, man, I never really thought about it.
Do you think you should put some thought into that?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just.
No, you're right. I mean, I should. I guess with kind of just thinking about it, like right now in the moment, like I guess what I could say is the legacy that I think about is what your kids see you as a father, you know, from infant to, I don't know, early 30s, you know, anything, whatever.
Till death.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, till your demise.
But the way that they view you and respect you for the things that you did for them growing up to try and build them into an adult that they will eventually be. Mm-hmm. And just the way that how you handled things to protect them, provide for them, stuff like that. I mean, mainly, I think it's just like when I think of legacy, I know that there's like a big, like, I don't want to say burden, but it's more or less like a responsibility looking aspect of it.
Okay.
You know, with having that, oh, my dad left me this, my dad left me that, or my dad didn't leave me anything, or I don't think he ever would. I really don't look at it that way.
In like a material aspect?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it more of like an emotional aspect.
Agreed.
You know, like I want the way I am as a father to impact my kids as much as possible.
Yeah.
And watch them grow into, you know, the person that I don't want to say the person or the people I wanted them to be. No,
but the person you can, like the good individual that you know that they can be.
Yeah.
Because they're an extension of you.
Exactly.
No, I kind of in the same notion of that as well. To me, a legacy is, of course, you have a legacy, you know, like Bill Gates. Steve Jobs, you know, they have legacies. You know, they've done these things and they're so accomplished, and these accolades out the wazoo, and this life that they've quite literally amassed of the wealth and the fame and all that. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like that's a legacy in of itself.
Yeah.
But to me, in my perspective as a father, I really have to question the legacy I'm leaving for my children, specifically outside of the materialistic things in that life path.
Yeah.
And that's just not something I'd ever want to ever sacrifice, quite honestly. Like, there's no amount of money in the world to me. There's no amount of accolades, nothing like that. Like, okay, the data dump used Kobe Bryant as an example. Yeah. That man, to me, was a legacy on and off the court. Yeah. I mean, of course, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And it's as crazy as it is to say, even in his death, he was going to his daughter's basketball game with her.
Yeah.
And that's you're intentionally being there. You're showing up. That's the legacy he left.
Yeah, and that's kind of how, like I explained earlier, with like building the way you want your kids to go. Because for instance, like you had just said that Kobe was going to his daughter's games and stuff like that. He put an impact on his kid's life.
Oh yeah,
by doing what he did, and she followed in his footsteps.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that's a legacy.
That is 100% a legacy.
Like, I know, like you had mentioned, there's a lot of people out there that have wealth and fame and all this.
Yeah, and I think we have to disassociate the aspect of, I want to leave my children this one. Like, I want them to have something to lean on.
Yeah.
But if you give them all of the qualities and the traits that can help them thrive and be successful human beings in a society.
Yeah.
To be thoughtful human beings, to be humanitarian, to care about people, to care about themselves, to care about their family.
Well, it's like what they said in the Daily Dad, respect themselves and respect others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really good reading for this.
Yeah.
And for me, I can say one of the things I want my legacy to be with my kids is I want them to know how present I was and how important how important just your presence is. Just even being present within yourself, because you have to be present. We've all done it, man. We've all done it. We all sit on our phones and we're not even present within ourselves.
Yeah.
If we're sitting on a screen, on a computer screen, on an Xbox, on our phone, and we're scrolling through social media, we're just binging Call of Duty, it doesn't matter. We aren't present even with ourselves.
No.
Not many people can sit here and say, I spend hours a week just sitting alone reading a book, just sitting alone with my own thoughts, with no distractions. Not many people can say that.
No.
And that in itself is it's crucial to be present. And that presence within oneself is critical to your children and that legacy that I know I want to leave behind. So to kind of formulate a question on that for you, what's one of the major things for you that you want your legacy to be with Addie and any future children?
They kind of like you had just mentioned with just, being there, being present. I want my kids to know that, like, I would be there no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, for instance, like with now, I mean, especially because I don't have her as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
When it comes to Fridays, when I go to pick her up, there's no getting an extra hour overtime. There's no staying 5 extra minutes to help someone clean up or something. No. 4 o'clock hits, I'm out. I'm going to get my kid. You got a problem with that? You can go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Like, I just don't care.
No, I respect that profoundly, man.
And I want my kids to know that, like, I'm always going to be there no matter what, whether I'm presently in
whether
this world.
You're physically present or not.
Yeah. I don't want them to ever think that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because then at the same time, like, that's going to make me feel like there was something I didn't do right.
You weren't good enough.
Yeah. And
So
I don't ever want to feel that way.
No. Especially when it comes to your own kids, no. And that kind of prompts the question, your situation obviously is what it is, and you could try to fight tooth and nail to rearrange that situation. You could try to do everything you want to do to enhance your situation, but as is your situation. What the legacy you want to leave for her, and if presence is one of your biggest one, non-material presence.
Yeah.
Clarify, just some clarification. how do you think you've done up to this point with conveying that to her? I mean, because I can only imagine how tough it, even just within yourself, that battle of you not physically being there all the time and physically showing her, hey, I'm here.
It's tough, but the time that I do have her, like I've said before, there's always something we're doing.
Good. Yeah.
I don't care if we're at home together by ourselves or if we're going out or whatever. We are doing something. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And just by me showing that I'm like putting in the work with her to do these things, I want her to realize like someday, like, hey, he was there. He did what he could with the time that he had.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't his fault. So, like, I don't want him to ever feel the blame that he wasn't there enough because of the situation.
Then, Mike, I have that kind of created a question for me in an abstract way. I don't want you to think there's anything. Of course, there's positives in your situation, but I don't want you to say there's a lot of like, you prefer it this way. I want to preface it by saying that I know you don't prefer it this way. That said, do you think your situation with Addie, when you get her every other weekend, do you think that allows you and sets you up to create a better, profound legacy for her in that aspect of presence alone? Because you do only get her for a limited amount of time, and that time you get her, comparatively speaking, in her own mind, she's a 5-year-old girl. She's comparing it to the time she spends with mommy. And mommy's not always present. Like I'm sorry, and I don't mean that with any disrespect to your ex-wife. I mean that is, and I'm a stay-at-home parent myself, and I know that I need some time for myself. And sometimes, you're afraid of the impression it leaves for your child.
Yeah.
But that being said, do you think you're kind of, I don't want to say setting up some type of unrealistic thing, but do you think the situation is allowing and helping your legacy in exemplifying your presence?
You know what? In a sense, I think so.
Yeah.
Because like for instance, the time that I don't have her, it allows me to get my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
That way, when the time does come that I do have her, it's all about her.
Yeah. That's amazing, man.
Now, like I know that us having like the differences between me being out in the world and working, and you being a stay-at-home dad, how it kind of leads me up to thinking about like how much do you think that like differs between like a stay-at-home parent's legacy and like a I don't want to say
a working parent,
Yeah. What do you think that the impacts of the differences could be between the two?
It's tough. It's tough because in one sense, every parent, whether they're a stay-at-home parent, a working parent, an uninvolved parent, you're going to create a legacy, and you want to, I hope, try to fulfill your legacy or kind of sculpt the legacy you want to create for your children. Kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about your ex-wife and how, Addie just is, most of her time is there. It's almost as if when you were a stay-at-home parent, you're under scrutiny, but it's not in a manner of somebody's watching you to make sure you do things right. It's just in the same notion of somebody's just watching you.
Yeah, they're watching you all the time. Yeah,
exactly. So you feel kind of scrutinized in that aspect. And it certainly can play on you if you put too much thought into it.
Yeah. And
you just have to have the awareness in moments where you feel or when you start to catch yourself slipping. And for me at least, when I find myself getting so fucking stressed, man, and ready to just like fucking scream at these kids. Exactly. When I'm overstimulated and overloaded. And I'm not perfect. It happens, man. And you do beat yourself up about that. But even you can you have to adjust the lens of your perspective. I had a freak out. Okay. how can I help myself and do better for myself for them? And it's everything you do thereafter.
Yeah.
It's like instead of getting yelled at and or yelling at your kids, and for me, I try to then just reapproach them and approach it with a conversation. At least for Declan, I mean, my 2-year-old's different. I just she just wants love.
Yeah.
She just wants affection. So apologizing to her and saying sorry because she understands sorry. So I do say sorry to her, and daddy was overstressed or whatever, and just spending that time with her, because that'll help at least reinforce one, in my opinion, the idea that daddy's just a human being.
Yeah. Daddy makes mistakes.
I'm 2, I'm 5, I have freakouts, I have big emotions, I have big feelings. Daddy's allowed to have them too.
Yeah.
And it's what I do after I have those big feelings that can help teach them in my own legacy what it is,
how to handle the situation.
Yeah, what it is to move on from there and still try to stay focused on bettering yourself and
the task
in
at
my case,
hand.
exactly, my kids.
Yeah.
But I also think, though, the other thing I would say, the difference is stay-at-home parents are going to, in my case, approach a legacy a little bit different because, again, I am always being watched. I am scrutinized.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that, like, with you being a stay-at-home dad, do you think that you're going to impact your kids more than, like, a working parent would? Because
in certain aspects, yes. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of where I'm getting at. In certain ways, because I'm spending so much time with them and because I'm under such scrutiny by my own children, it's the lessons they're going to get from my own legacy is going to be different than it would be if I was a working parent.
Yeah.
If they were at daycare, if they were at school.
Now, all right, so before we wrap up here, I want to ask you, like,
okay. Ask me away, bro.
Do you think your kids consider you a fun dad?
Oh, fuck yeah, they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt, man. That's the one thing I always try to implement is, like, fun time. Like, they use me as a jungle gym. I play, like, I play with them, and when I say that, like, I put myself into, like, my 5-year-old shoes. Like, what would be fun as a 5-year-old boy?
Yeah.
Fucking jumping off of the slide, man.
Jumping off the swings and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I and the approach I always take when my kids like to be very adventurous that way. I love embracing their desire to try new things physically.
You embrace their imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the one thing I just try to always tell them is, like, when Declan wanted to jump off the slide, and it was the highest point of him jumping off of anything in the jungle gym back there, was he was a bit fearful, but it's like, do you trust yourself? Like, do you think you can do this?
Yeah, don't let fear get in the way,
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to have fear and be like, I'm afraid, but I'm doing this.
Accomplish that fear,
And conquest that fear, man. Put that shit to rest. You got this.
Yep.
But if there's more doubt than there is assurance that you can do it, then okay, maybe next time, maybe tomorrow we'll try it.
Yeah.
Look how far you've already gotten. You weren't standing up on that part of the slide yesterday, but here you are.
Yeah.
So if you don't think you could jump yet, let's try tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing and it pisses Jill the fuck off all the time. It does, man. Because you know what? It is what it is, man. If they get hurt, all right, I'm right there to catch them or whatever. Exactly. Rub a little dirt on there. You'll be okay. My daughter face planted jumping off of the steps the other day. Girl, you fine. Just brush that dirt off. She good to go, But that's the one thing. Yeah, I want to be the fun dad, and that's just how I approach it. So in my legacy, I guess I always subconsciously wanted to be remembered as that's fun as hell.
As a father, you have the potential to shape the future and leave an incredible mark on the world.
Do you now?
Your children remember you for how you taught them to think, act, and believe, and these lessons will stay with them for life. Your influence can be seen in the values you instill, the opportunities you provide, and the legacy you leave behind for generations to come.
Hopefully, you're not leaving behind a generational scar from a situation you found yourself into, because that's not a good look, my guy.
Nah, man.
But speaking of situations, what we got tonight?
All right, so the first one is from 9/11/23. Are You Okay? By Fucking Idiot.
Nice name.
It says, today my boyfriend yet again bought paper towels instead of toilet paper. I screamed to myself, horse at him, and told him to go get some toilet paper before I killed us both. He came back with coffee filters. I think he's just torturing her, bro.
Yeah. You know what? She deserved that one, bro.
Have fun wiping your ass with sandpaper.
Why? But why scream about all that? Why scream about that, man? If my 2-year-old daughter did that, okay, she's 2.
I mean,
You're old enough to have a boyfriend.
Listen, man, I'm going to scream. I want something to wipe my butt with that's soft. Soft and cushiony. I don't want to wipe my ass with a paper towel. The second one is Parental Advice by Anonymous. Back in 2023. It says, today I was going on my first date. I was planning my outfit with my mom when my dad offered his advice. That boy won't care what outfit you're wearing. Just make sure you wear sexy underwear and carry a condom. Guaranteed first date success. That's how me and your mom got married.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Your life sucks.
Yeah, that's a TMI moment, man. Like, oof, sorry, girl. Boy. Well, you know what? You never know anymore, but sorry about that one, buddy. Jesus.
And the last one is called Undercover by Anonymous. It says, today I was talking to this girl I really like at my work. Everything was going fine until our boss called me into his office. Apparently I was being a little too flirty with his daughter.
Oh. That sucks. That sucks.
Talk about shitting where you eat.
Well, if he knew about it, then you deserved it.
Yeah.
If he didn't know about it, then that sucks, man. I think it's a circumstantial answer thing.
Yeah.
50-50. Yeah. Well, I hope your mom or your ex-girlfriends don't post any pictures of you in your sexy underwear online somewhere. Because they ain't going to be tagging. I'm going to let them tag us on Instagram or Facebook.
That ain't happening.
I love how you have nothing to say, too. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just fucking tired.
Oh, just tired. Okay.
I am, motherfucker.
Tell them where they can find our Facebook at. Jesus Christ, bro.
Be sure to follow us on our social media. Facebook is /DadTapes. Instagram is at the Dad Tapes Podcast. Twitter at the Dad Tapes. And TikTok at Dad Tapes Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review of the show wherever you listen to podcasts. It truly helps the show.
You know what? We always say it here. I ain't even gonna bother saying it anymore, man. It's we 35 tapes. Here we go. Just you know,
just rewind the fucking tape.
That'd be nice, but at this point, like, fuck it.
Rewind the tape. Mic drop.
That was bad. You just mic dropped the night away, bro. We ended it on that one.
I'm checking out.
Deuces.
Later.
Later, skater.